Greetings and grace. All right, you already know what it is. We're talking about the opportunists today. And more specifically, we're talking about Judas. Don't be like Judas in the Bible, y'all. We are in Matthew chapter 26, and it's going to be specifically verses 14 through 16 and 47 through 50. But hold on one second. I want to say, because yeah, we was up in here last night. Yeah. And there are a ton of verses. So we're going to go on ahead because we are continuing on in the Stop Being a Sabotager, Stop Self-Sabotaging series, right? So chapter 26, verses 14 through 15 through 16, and then verses 47 through 50. Then we're going to get into some thought processes and some tips. So Judas agrees to betray Jesus. Then one of the 12, the one called Judas Iscariot, went to the chief priests and asked, "What are you willing to give me if I deliver him over to you?" He offered. Yeah, that's crazy, man. So they counted out for him 30 pieces of silver. From then on, Judas watched for an opportunity to hand him over. Crazy fact. I'm not going to say this is a fun fact. This is a crazy fact. Judas in Greek, if I recall correctly, it means peephole, to peep. Hold on one second. We're going to look this up. What does the name Judas mean? Already know. And what's wild is, y'all, is that Judas is a form of Judah, which was actually, you know what I'm saying, something that was good. And if I recall correctly, Judah is thanking God, something along those lines. But all right, so boom, Judas. This one is at merriam-webster.com. Okay, so we could have went to the free dictionary. We'll check that out as well. The apostle who in the gospel accounts betrayed Jesus, a son of James and one of the 12 apostles, traitor, one who betrays under the guise of friendship. Peephole. Peephole. It literally says, that's crazy, man. And verse 16, Judas watched for an opportunity to hand him over. By the way, happy Resurrection Day. It's a day that we honor our Emmanuel, Jesus the Christ, who died and rose again on the third day so that we all may have everlasting life and the type of life that lasts for eternity. We can't even think about it. You know what I'm saying? And I just want to let you know that it's not too late. You can always accept Jesus into your heart. Jesus never killed anybody. Jesus challenged the system. Jesus wasn't one to be played with. And what's amazing is that Jesus loves. And I'm talking about Hebrew Jewish Jesus, right? If you go into the Bible and you go into the location where Jerusalem and Bethlehem is, you know what I'm saying? And also know that a lot of the depictions of Jesus are inaccurate. It's supposedly based off of some homosexual Italian dude and everything like that. So, that's blasphemy. But I just want to encourage you to read, learn the history of Emmanuel, Jesus the Christ, and look at the way he lived. Everywhere he went, he shared love. He shared love. Everywhere he went, he loved people. He helped and he served. That right there is a phenomenal example of a way to live. Imagine if everybody lived like that. And he didn't kill nobody. How amazing is that? So many people, they swear they doing a whole bunch of stuff and they out here harming people. How amazing is Emmanuel, Jesus the Christ? Romans 10:9-10, by the way, says if you confess in your mouth and you believe in your heart that Jesus died and rose again on the third day, for you, for that so that you may have everlasting life, you will be saved. And that's Romans 9:10. Definitely look it up. I'll pull it. Oh, you know what? I'll pull it up. I'll pull it up. It is Resurrection Sunday, and so I want to encourage you guys to live differently, live in a way that's loving. So, excuse me. We've got Judas. Judas was a dirtbag. It's not the word I would prefer to use, but that's the word we use it today. Judas the dirtbag. Okay. Hold on one second. Okay, so the freedictionary.com gives us one who betrays another under the guise of friendship, dirtbag, a one-way peephole in a door. Yo, okay, so for 30 pieces of silver too, by the way. And he literally looked for an opportunity. Yo, that's crazy. Like, I mean, yes, the Bible, right? If you were to go through this and everything like that, verse 1, let's see. When Jesus had finished saying all these things, he said to his disciples, as you know, the Passover is 2 days away, and the Son of Man will be handed over to be crucified. The chief priests and the elders of the people assembled in the palace of the high priest, whose name was Caiaphas, Saphias, whatever this dirtbag's name is. And they schemed to arrest Jesus secretly and kill him, but not during the festival, they said, or there may be a riot among the people. Man, politicians, huh? Yo, that's crazy. And so Judas, that dirtbag, go to verse 14, verse 15. No. Verse 14. I'll read it again. Then one of the 12, the one called Judas Iscariot, went to the chief priests. He, okay, so, okay, right. We're talking about the stopping of self sabotaging. Don't go to people to try to hurt somebody else, to sell somebody out. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? This, what are you willing to give me if I deliver him over to you? That's literally an opportunity. That is so manipulative. Yo, okay, check this joint out. Yo, how can you hang out with somebody and do that? You know what I'm saying? That just goes to show you Judas was never really there to serve. You know what I'm saying? Judas was never, his heart wasn't in it. You know what I'm saying? Jesus knew, but Judas, right? He's a lesson, you guys. There's a lesson to learn, to be learned by the how he lived his life. He was a dirtbag, and an opportunist, literally opportunist. So we're gonna look this up too. Opportunist. My question is, man, like, was he behind on rent? You know what I'm saying? Did Judas have a huge debt that he needed to pay? Like, why not just ask Jesus? Why not ask Matthew? Didn't Matthew do taxes? Isn't just like you with the disciples. Somebody should have been able to help you out. All right. So opportunist, one who takes advantage of any opportunity to achieve an end, often with no regard for principles or consequences. And what are those consequences? We're gonna turn on over and we're gonna find out. Gotta find out what happened here. Verses 47 through 50. And then we're gonna go over to chapter 27 because this joint is crazy, man. Verse 47, while he was still speaking, Judas, one of the 12, arrived. With him was a large crowd, armed with swords and clubs, sent from the chief priests and the elders of the people. Now the betrayer had arranged a signal with them. The one I kiss is the man. Arrest him. Going at once to Jesus, Judas said, greetings, Rabbi, and kissed him. Jesus replies, do what you came for, friend. Y'all, Jesus knew. And Jesus talked about it too, you know what I'm saying? And he was like, do what you came for. Like, that was literally his purpose of being a disciple. And Jesus knew what would happen. But it's also like, I need you guys to understand something, right? Jesus only had 3 people around him that he like circle, like his circle of trust, inner circle. Yes, he had 12 disciples and a couple other people, but like, look, he only had 3 around him at all times: Peter, James, and John. And if you look into, we talked about Peter yesterday. Peter had a temper, you know what I'm saying? Peter messed up too, but Peter really loved Jesus and he loved the purpose that he was doing. You know what I'm saying? And then you got the rest of the 12, 12 minus 3, that's 9. So, you got the doubting Thomas, you got Judas, and, he served his purpose. This joint's wild. So Jesus said, do what you came for, friend. Yeah, that's hurtful, man. And so we're just gonna kind of scroll over, not scroll over, just going over to chapter 27, where chapter 27, and it talks about Judas hanging himself. Early in the morning, all the chief priests and the elders of the people made their plans how to have Jesus executed. So they bound him, led him away, handed him over to Pilate. the governor. Like I said, politicians, y'all. When Judas who had betrayed him saw that Jesus was condemned, he was seized with remorse and returned the 30 pieces of silver to the chief priests and the elders. I have sinned, he said, for I have betrayed innocent blood. Remember, opportunist, one who takes advantage of any opportunity to achieve an end, often with no regard for principles or consequences. I have sinned, he said, for I have betrayed innocent blood. What is that to us? They replied. That's your responsibility, Jesus. So Judas threw the money into the temple and left. Then he went away and hanged himself. The chief priest picked up the coins and said, it is against the law to put this into the treasury since it is blood money. So they decided to use the money to buy the potter's field as a burial place for foreigners. That is why it has been called the field of blood to this day, Jesus. Then what was spoken by Jeremiah the prophet was fulfilled. They took the 30 pieces of silver, the price set on him by the people of Israel, and they used them to buy the potter's field as the Lord commanded me. Y'all, Judas was straight up an opportunist. He was like, hey, what could I get if I sell him out? They told him. He said, yeah, I'm going to give him a kiss on the cheek. Jesus said, do what you came to do, friend. Man. Yeah. Okay, when you think about that, though, right? It's like, all right, so like when we were kids, or if you got kids in your life, and that they're going to lie, right? Can you imagine that? I know I can't. Times like 1,000, and it's a hurtful type of situation, and they just straight sell you out. Yo, that's cold, man. That's cold blooded. Did Judas have a heart? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? How many? What was it? 3 years? 3 years was Jesus' ministry, right? So were they all hanging out for 3 years? And then I don't know, you know what I'm saying? He does this. Yeah, that's cold. You know what I'm saying? For 30 pieces of silver. What was silver back in the day? How much was it? How much USD was 30 pieces of silver worth in Bible times? So about 2013, $21.64. Oh, wait. No, no, no. That's wrong. Excuse me, y'all. That's 1 ounce of silver. $21.64. Yo, why didn't you just were you freaking hurting, Judas? Why not talk to the people that you are freaking rocking with for 3 years? You know what I'm saying? That's just cold. It's just cold, man. So truthsaves.org. So around like 400, $500 back in the day. And that silver will cost a lot of, oh wow. Okay, somebody one day ago. Okay, let's see. 1 million today. People would still do things like that today. They do anything for $1 million, but I just want to encourage you to not be that guy, because you know what? When he realized it, he saw what happened to Jesus, and he was seized with remorse. And he tried to return, he tried to give it back, but it was too late, man. And he was like, yo, I wanna make it right. I have sinned, for I've betrayed innocent blood. He knew what he did. You know what they said to him? Chapter 27, verse 4 at the end of verse 4. What is that to us? They reply, that's your responsibility. They literally say, we give zero F's about what you do. You did what you were supposed to do. He was just a pawn to them. Like, they didn't care. They was like, here's the money. Thanks. You know what I'm saying? And that joint is wild. And then he hung himself. He tried to throw the money back and then he hung himself. And so he lived with that shame for what was that? In one night, he lived with the shames that he realized that he did that was so bad because it was. And he decided to kill himself. So I just want to encourage you to not be an opportunist in the sense of you're risking someone else's life or someone else's livelihood or someone else's purpose for some freaking money. You know what I'm saying? Or for whatever it is you're trying to achieve. Like stop stepping, don't step on people. And if you're doing that, I want to encourage you to stop stepping on people. That's not cool. It's wrong. Like I'm getting passionate about it because I've seen people do that. And that's also, you know what I'm saying, not to this level. Because let me tell you something. I am so humble for what Emmanuel Jesus Christ did for us and did for me. And I know that I would never be able to do anything like that. And so I'm just grateful because that joint's crazy. And and I know also that, I, we know who we are. You know what I'm saying? I definitely believe in confrontation. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying Emmanuel Jesus Christ did it. I'm rambling. Excuse me. But all right, let me get back on track. I'm just saying I can match a dirt bag. That's what I was saying. But okay, so let's also do our best to not match energy, right? All right. So don't be the dirt bag to the dirt bag that was a dirt bag to you. All right. So you guys stop sabotaging yourselves because sometimes you're thinking that you're doing something that's going to help you without practicing empathy, thinking how the other person would feel, and you're not even realizing the consequences that could be on the other side of that. So be encouraged. Stop self sabotaging. Don't literally go seeking to get something that's going to put somebody else in harm's way. That's wrong. That's jacked up. And you'd be like Judas was an associate to murder. I mean, that's just the bottom line. So be encouraged. It's hurtful when you think about those things. It really is. Romans 10, 9 through 10. And I'm gonna pull this up for you guys. That way you guys know it. But yes, if you want to accept the Lord into your heart, honestly, the world is already tough. You know what I'm saying? But it's less tough when you got God. And I'm not just saying that just to say that. I'm saying that like I know my why. I've seen miracles like for me, for others, I've seen them happen. And there are a few other reasons that I've miracles and things like that I've seen, and there was no explanation but God. And that's my why. Not everybody's going to be able to experience that, and that's okay. But guess what? Every day when you look outside and you see a new picture in the sky, that's God. Every day like, just think about it this way, nature performs and grows and shows up each and every single day and breathes and creates life, and it has thousands of functions and like cells, and how it just nature is beautiful, and it's here when it was here before we were all born, and it's going to be here when we leave this earth, man. Oh, I'm getting emotional. God is amazing, y'all. God is amazing. So Romans 10:9-10. If you declare with your mouth Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. For it is with your heart that you believe and are justified, and it is with your mouth that you profess your faith and are saved. And I just want to let you guys know it's really not that hard. The only thing that makes it hard is us, is humanity, it's our flesh. It's our experiences, how we grew up, our environment, things like that, right? We get in our own way. But think of it this way, and I'm going to make it as simple as possible for you. Every choice and every action we make and we do has a consequence, whether it's good or bad, right? Now, here's what you want to do. If you really accepted Jesus into your heart today, right? I just want to encourage you. Keep God first. So that means reading his word, listening to worship, and treat people the way you want to be treated. Love. That means treat people the way you want to be treated. Love your neighbor as love your neighbor as yourself. If you literally live like that intentionally each and every single day, you are literally following God's word. Don't make it as hard or as difficult as a lot of people make it. It's as simple as that. All right. So God bless. And also, by the way, the fruit of the spirit. Fruit of the Spirit. If you live by the fruit of the Spirit, against such things there is no law. That's Bible. So, and that's love, joy, peace, patience, gentleness, self-control, meekness, those things, kindness. If you literally live like that, those are action words, y'all. If you live like that, there is no law. There's nothing can be said against you. So be encouraged to be the change that you want to see, to literally learn how to love people, to learn how to live in these ways and actually do it and inspire people to do it too. It's as simple as that. Don't complicate it. Stop sabotaging yourself, stop sabotaging other situations. Don't be an opportunist dirtbag and be safe. God bless. Oh, look, I'm over here. Oh, I'm over here ending. I'm over here ending it.